everybody. Troy Simpson here. Some of you guys know me, some of you guys don't. Just a little bit of background on me. I've been with the company since September of 2020, September of 2013. So I'm going on 13 years, been with the company for 12 years. My background is in, I used to build call centers way back in the day. Got started in this business in 1996 and built call centers way back when. Got into managing call centers right about that same time. Became a VP of operations for several different companies prior to joining Barrett. My expertise is in customer service, customer relations, sales, collections, believe it or not, retention, things of that nature, and written sales training manuals for companies like Brinks, for companies like Jani-King, and a few other companies you've probably never heard of. Romantic Inspirations was one of them. They used to sell greeting cards, and I've been around the block a few times, and so several years ago wrote a sort of a transcript of a book that I never really got around to getting published, and it really did center around customer service, good customer service, the difference in customer service, customer relations, and customer relationships. So what we are trying to do here at Barrett is sort of separate ourselves from other companies. One of the things that I have noticed over the last 12 years is, and this is not a pandemic at all, it's sort of random things like the sales team will get a phone call, they'll build this great rapport with this customer. The customer will give them a credit card number, a complete stranger. Giving somebody that they don't know a credit card number is difficult, just so you guys know. And right now we are at about a 96% auto pay rate. So they do a really good job in getting that information. So they build this really great rapport with these customers, and it goes out and the technician does a really great job, and the inside sales rep gets a 5-star review, the technician gets a 5-star review, and then later down the road, something very small kills that. And then all of a sudden there's a 1-star review that comes in. They'll say something like, I started out with this company, things were great, and all of a sudden it's not great anymore. Now, we probably got 10 times the 5-star reviews than we do have the 1-star reviews, but nevertheless, we want to try to curtail 1-star reviews completely if we can. So this training is going to be going out to every new employee that starts at the service level, every technician, every inspector, and even I have a version of this for the customer service team and the inside sales team and the outbound sales team as well. So everybody's going to get similar training like this. What we got to do as a company is separate ourselves. We have to go from being a good company to a great company. And I think we're teetering on the brink of greatness already. I think we're probably already there. But in order for us to maintain that greatness, we have to do things differently. And what that means is we have to cater to our customers as much as we can. So I'm going to jump right into this. Barrett Home Services Tech Inspector Customer Service Training, created for you guys June 4th, is when you're going to see the first, see this presentation first. So thank everybody who played a part in allowing this training to come to pass. Everyone at every branch will receive this same information to eliminate any ambiguity. Since 1999, Barrett Services have provided top-notch service. This quote is a quote that I found several years ago, and I want to sort of highlight this because I want you guys to get familiar with this quote. Write it down somewhere. Please write it down somewhere. Keep it in your truck. Post it to your visor if you need to. But it says, the burden of being great falls on the company, not the customer. The burden of being great falls on the company and not the customer. We can't think that a customer is going to make us great. They're not. We're going to make ourselves great. And we're going to make ourselves great by understanding the difference in great customer service versus great customer relationships. Now, I'll be talking about that a little bit later on in this training, but I can give you a little bit of a preface on what that really looks like. If a customer is paying us $119 for an initial treatment, $45 a month to get rid of and treat for, general pest control, whether it's ants, spiders, crickets, or whatever the case may be. The technician goes out there and he treats for those things. That's good customer service. but there's nothing special about it because that's what the customer expected. What we're trying to do is go above and beyond, thinking outside the box a little bit to make us and separate us from other companies. So, through empathy and understanding, we will serve each other and our customers with great customer relations. And I always talk about the link of the chain. I've been talking about this at the beginning of the year meeting for the last 14 years. That link of the chain is the customer service team, the inside sales team, and the service department, which is you guys, technicians and inspectors. If one of those links break, it all breaks. So working hand in hand, we are each other's internal customers. And I'll talk about that as well, what internal customers versus the external customers are. So this training with strengthening the chain between all of us and our customers bring about a better customer experience. All right. Great companies offer great customer service and great customer relations and relationships. Top companies hire talented people and embrace servant leadership, which puts employees at the forefront. They know employee success drives a company's success, and in turn, employees value customers' impact on the company's achievements. Employees are seen as the most valuable asset. Happy employees lead to happy, loyal customers, creating lasting relationships. I want to preface one thing again. This whole thing, everything that you're going to see today, at the very center of it all is customer loyalty, creating customer loyalty. If we do that, we win. We win. It's a win-win for everybody. Here's an example. We have customers right now that will call us and warn us that there are door knockers in their neighborhood, offering a cheaper price, offering whatever, talking bad about us, or whatever the case may be. But those are what I consider loyal customers. They'll call us, instead of switching to another company, they'll call us to give us a heads up. So that's great. And we have a whole bunch of people that'll do that for us. So at the very center of everything that you're going to listen here today is customer loyalty. That is what we're trying to create. I will take a loyal customer over a happy customer any day of the week. Preferably both, but give me loyalty first. All right, some words I want you guys to get used to. Servant leadership, empathy versus sympathy. There is a difference. I'm going to explain the difference, and I want you to write that down a little bit later. You're going to be tested on this. Customer-centric approach and culture. Customer centricity. We'll talk about that as well. Internal, external customers. What are the internal customers? Who are the external customers? Customer relationship. What I like to call PPT, people, processes, technology. And customer lifetime value, known as CLTV. Get used to that, write it down. Pause this video, service managers, if you can. Let your guys write this down. Pre-game warm-up. This is our first slide. We're actually getting into the training now. What does a pre-game warm-up mean? Pre-game warm-up is field technicians and inspectors should always know what their route looks like the day before. They should be checking their routes, checking their stops, cross-referencing those stops with available products. Working in the office as long as I have, I see notes all the time. And of course, this is not a big problem, but it happens. A technician will say, ran out of product. Technician will say, don't have product on my truck. And we end up having to reschedule or cancel a stop because we weren't prepared. That almost always leads to one-star reviews, almost always. To be even more efficient, they should be looking at every single home in their pregame plan to prepare for the treatment. So in other words, on your iPad, you can actually pull up the person's house, see what it looks like, get yourself mentally prepared to treat this house. This way, when they arrive, you get familiar with the home and can treat according to company standard. So the sales team uses specific verbiage when describing to a customer what we're going to do when we come out to the location. So I don't know if you guys know what the scripting is like. Nathan and I wrote it a while back, and we've tinkered with it over the years to fit the changing of service. Now that we offer the unlimited quarterly service versus the quarterly service, which is a limited is monthly billing, quarterly is quarterly billing. We had to change our scripting up a lot. But one thing remains, none of our guys are licensed to be able to give any customer specific. So we don't do that. We generally talk about what's expected on the first visit. And this should be universal across the company. Every technician at every branch should be doing these things. We tell the customer, if they ask, hey, what are your guy gonna do when he gets here? You're gonna get a full flush on the inside, including the baseboards in every room, window seals, if it's practical to do so. In the kitchen, we'll treat in the pipes, under the sink. We'll dust the attic on the first visit. We'll treat the bathrooms as well. On the outside, we'll go 3 feet up, 5 feet out, around the foundation, around the home, creating a barrier. And so we also spot treat the yard for ant mounds. We treat the weep holes, spider webs, to knock those down, and also knock down any wasp nests. Now, I underlined treating the weep holes. Again, been here a long time, and I have seen customers that will say, hey, how do I know that you've been here? Nobody showed up, and we did. They were probably at work. It was probably a maintenance service on a quarterly basis, and the technician goes out, does the job. But how do they know? They don't know because they don't see anything. If we treat the weep holes every single time with that dust, I know my former technician treated the weep holes every single time he came to my house, even when I wasn't there. So when I got home, I can see the little white dust in between the weep holes. That's how I knew he was there. So these are standard things that we should be doing every single time. These are the things that help us sell customers, guys. We list these things as extra add-ons that we don't charge extra. All right, so that is your pregame warm-up. Shaking hands and kissing babies. My guys over here, that was a funny movie. I don't know if y'all seen that movie. That's fantastic. What was the name of that movie? I don't know. But anyway, it was funny. Shaking hands and kissing babies. That's the terminology used really in politics, but it really does translate over to what we're trying to do. Shaking hands and kissing babies really means going above and beyond the call of duty, doing more than what's expected. Field technicians, you guys are the first face that the customer sees after we sign them up on new service. It's called a company and customer relationship. It's a marriage. And so the adage that first impressions are lasting impressions is very, very true in this business. Likewise, with existing customers, our field reps must maintain their courtship throughout the duration of that marriage between the customer and the company. Field technicians, you must be willing to play the part. Guys, if you don't buy into this, all this means nothing. You gotta be willing to do these things to help us stand out. So this starts from the very beginning during the hiring process. So now, moving forward, when we onboard a new technician or inspector, the very first training that they're gonna receive is this customer relationship training. What you're looking at now is one of the first things that new hires will see as they join the company. For techs and inspectors already on staff, which is you guys watching right now, there's an old saying that it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, but I got faith that you guys will be able to incorporate this into the things that you've already been doing. And look, you guys get tons of 5-star reviews, all right? This is not about anything of a admonishment or reprimand whatsoever. In fact, this is brand new. This is things that we want to try, things that we want you guys to buy into. And so don't think that you guys are not doing a good job, because you definitely are. But ask yourself this question: what kind of habits have you formed so far? Have you formed good habits? Have you formed some bad habits? Or sort of habits that are just sort of indifferent, which means just kind of right in the middle, not good, not bad, just kind of going with the flow. Write those two things down, because I want you to write down some good habits that you have, and be honest. Do it introspective of yourself. What bad habits do you have? We all have them. I have bad habits myself. It's hard for me to stick to my day. I write down a to-do list every single day, and I can barely stick to it. So that's a bad habit of mine. And then also write down some habits that are sort of indifferent, things that you don't really think about. It's not good, it's not bad, just kind of middle of the road. All right, continuing with shaking hands and kissing babies. Here's a situation simulation. We used to do situation simulations way back. I used to be a police officer. Don't know if you guys know that or not. I was Dallas DPD from 1990 to 1996. Some of y'all weren't even born because I'm an old guy. But we used to do these things called situation simulations. We would role play on, undercover police officers would be in the office building, and as a rookie, we pull up to the office and we have to go in and try to search the building and blah, blah, blah. It's to see if we were doing things the right way. So the situation simulation for this shaking hands and kissing babies is always smile. If you are in front of a customer, man, always smile. Extend a hand to shake the hand. Now, this is post-COVID, so some people are a little bit iffy about shaking hands, but try anyway. If you have to, wear gloves and shake hands. But if you greet a person with a smile and you shake their hands, man, it's fantastic. Check this out. Introduce yourself, always. Hi, Mr. Simpson. My name is Troy, and I'll be servicing your home today. Just want you to know that I'm going to treat your home just like it's mine, okay? Just like that. Customers love that. If you guys tried that, that's the first step in you guys creating loyalty for Barrett. Seriously, that's a very, very good introduction every time you are going out to an initial. All right, sorry guys. This is live and my phone is ringing, so I had to see if it was important. Anyway, for current customers, listen, why not ask about how the family is doing? Ask about work. Say something just to engage with your customers. These are for people that are already on service with us, whether it's a quarterly service, whether it's a follow-up service, or a pest control service call. Engage somehow. After the service is complete, here's a good thing to do. Verbally go over what was done. Tell them what you did. Tell them what to expect after the service that you provided for them. Remind the customer. If it's the first time a customer, remind them to sign the agreement. If they haven't already, hopefully they signed it before you started, which is what our protocol is. But if for whatever reason you forget, make sure they sign it. Pull out that iPad and have them sign that agreement. Also, go over the products that you used. Go over what the dry time is. How long will it take for the product to dry? Things of that nature. Mention the toxicity level. Transparency is key. Our products have the same toxicity level as a household cleaning product. So go over all that stuff with them. And that transparency, man, goes a long way. Plus, you know what you're doing? You're building rapport with the person. They're getting used to your voice. They're getting used to your face. That is the first step in creating loyalty. So they're going to start trusting us as a company and you as a technician. Then finally, always ask, is there anything else that I can do for you? Ask them. Maybe they told the sales rep that they're seeing ants and spiders, and they didn't mention crickets or whatever the case may be. Ask them, is there anything else I can do for you today? They love that. All right. Y'all remember I had underlined random acts of kindness in the very beginning. Now this is super, super small. I'm sorry about that. Don't know if I can blow it up. So as you guys are watching this, maybe the service managers guys, maybe y'all can pause this part and let them take a look at this after I finish. But random act of kindness. This is, there have been hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of studies done about what acts of kindness can have on a person mentally. Not even person receiving the act, but also the person giving the act. What it does is it boosts mood. When you perform a random act of kindness, it can boost your mood and make you feel good about yourself. So it's not just a one-way deal, it's a two-way street. When you do something kind for somebody, mentally, those, whatever you call those things in your brain, they're released and it makes you feel good for the rest of the day as well. Next, creates a positive feedback loop. Creates a positive feedback loop. Y'all know what a loop is, right? What goes around comes around. Random acts of kindness creates a loop and it comes back to us as well. So when you perform a act of kindness, it can inspire the recipient to pay it forward. We're looking for 5-star reviews, right? We're looking for customer loyalty. So when you do these things, we're starting that process. It builds connections. Random acts of kindness can help build connection between people, even if they are strangers. All right, I just read the first sentence. All right, that's all I'm going to read. You can read the rest yourself. Your face is the first face that they see, right? You're going to a stranger's house. Imagine doing something random, some act of kindness, and we'll talk about this at a couple more slides, maybe the next slide, not sure. But what about, you see trash in the yard, and you pick it up, and you let the customer know, hey, I saw some trash in the yard, I went ahead and picked that up for you. Or what about the trash bin at it's a trash day, and you see that trash bin has been picked up already, and you say, hey, I rolled your trash bin up for you as well. What if you are treating and a lady comes home and she has groceries in the car, and you ask, hey, would you like some help with your groceries? I can help you with that. She might say no. She might say yes. No matter what she says, though, you put the gesture out there, and that's going to be a part of that loop that we just talked about. So random acts of kindness goes a long, long way. Now, this is a little bit corny right here, but it's true. In a world where there's so much negativity and divisiveness, performing random acts of kindness can be a powerful way to spread love and kindness. What matters is the intention behind the act. To brighten somebody's day, spread positivity. Random acts of kindness are simple yet a powerful way to increase feelings of self-worth, spread love and kindness, and improve overall well-being. So, the next time you have an opportunity, take a moment to perform an act of kindness and watch as the positive effect ripple out into the ratings and the reviews of the world. All right, next. Continuing with random acts of kindness. Here's some ways that we can stand out. Just mentioned picking up trash in the yard, bringing the trash bin out from the curb, helping with groceries. Ask if they'd like for you to grab the mail out of the mailbox. Mr. Simpson, would you like for me to bring your mail in for you? Notice something extra to do. Find something to do. I wish I would have took a picture of this, but right now, literally, I have a trash bag flying in my tree. It's been there for almost a month, and I can't reach it, But imagine my technician coming out and say, hey man, I noticed that you had a trash bag in your tree. I use my Webster and I knocked it down for you. I mean, it's annoying. It's not the end of the world to have a trash bag in your tree, but it's annoying. And so that'll be a really good act of kindness as well. If the customer isn't home, add the extra note to your appointment of what you did. Always try to leave a door hanger with a special message using the customer's name. Mr. Simpson, today I came by to perform your quarterly service. I treated so-and-so. During the treatment, I noticed your faucet was dripping outside, so I went ahead and turned that off for you. Man, this on paper or on a board, on a presentation, doesn't look like it's much of it is so impactful, but it really is. Can you imagine leaving a note like that for one of your customers that their faucet was dripping, so you turned it off for them? I mean, you're saving them money on their water bill at the very least, but the forefront of that is that act of kindness. They're going to appreciate that. All right, first stop, last stop. What do I mean by first stop, last stop? Hard, 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 hard. This is a toughie. Man, 15 stops in a day. I couldn't imagine. Listen, I can't imagine. I've been here long enough to know how hard that is to do, guys. 12 stops with, 5 initials, and, 7 follow-ups. It's a hard day, and so we're reaching the summertime now where we're going to start to see triple digits in most of our branches. So this one is a hard ask, but we're asking you, treat your last stop like it was your first stop. So this section involves a challenging task that requires both physical and mental resilience. Technicians are encouraged to approach the last stop with the same level of energy and attentiveness as they did at the beginning of their day. Maintaining consistency throughout their work This feeds into customer relationship. Customers see you working hard and they appreciate it. What we need to try to do as a company is provide a cooler, a small cooler with ice, with water, with Gatorade. Get you a cool towel that you can dip in that cold water and put on your face to sort of revitalize you as you're going along your fifth stop, right? That's when you start getting a little bit tired on that fifth one or that sixth stop or that seventh stop. And now it's, it's 3 o'clock and you want to get home at least by 7, right? So, you want to revitalize yourself. So this is something that as a company, we need to look into you guys to do for you. The First 24. This is a spinoff of The First 48, one of my favorite shows. And plus I used to be a cop, so there you go. The First 24. This is a crucial time for establishing customer loyalty. The period before and after the initial interaction sets the tone for future behavior. A friendly call ahead, prompt arrivals, getting to the stop when you're supposed to, high quality service, and the extra tasks lead to positive reviews and tips. We use applause so you guys can make extra money. Take advantage of that. I get that report. I see some of you guys are making some pretty good money on tips. Within the first 24 hours, the customer receives a welcome message from Barrett, reinforcing the service that we have provided for them. All right, so here's that situation simulation again. The customer calls for service. The inside sales rep sells the service. The service is scheduled on the route. You arrive at the customer's home. You do the treatment. The customer gets a new series of welcomes from Barrett, including a message from Nathan. So, before I get to that, explaining the difference in customer relationship, customer relations, and customer service. Customer relations falls on the company. Customer relationships falls on you, and so does customer service. But the customer relations are some of the things that we're already doing with the customer. Nathan has developed a series of messages that's going to go out to the customer. We call it constant contact, but it's really customer relations. And so basically, when a customer gets a new service from us, they get a new message from Nathan, a welcome, and all that good stuff. So when a customer calls, they usually trust us due to positive reviews that they saw. An inside sales rep successfully sold them, which builds the initial trust, which needs to be maintained by the office staff, which is the customer service team. And the CSRs play a vital role in nurturing these relationships and ensuring top-notch customer experience. All right, here we go. This is the biggie. Changing of the name from pest control technician to customer service technician. From day one, a technician should understand that their title is customer service technician, not service technician anymore. Customer loyalty is our goal, and it begins with the first interaction. So it involves acts of kindness, genuine gestures, and making an exceptional impression within the first 24 hours. So we need to give our customers reasons to rate us highly every single time, have to exceed expectations, as customers expect good customer service because they're paying for it. But what they will love is us going above and beyond. So the difference in customer relations, customer relationship, and customer service. Customer relations is the how. It's the how of engaging with our customers. While customer relationships, it's the why. And so the goal of building strong, lasting connections based on trust and loyalty. Both are crucial for business success. As strong customer relations leads to strong customer relationships and vice versa. So there's a difference. Customer relations, this is Barrett Home Services' job to provide timely and effective customer service, to address inquiries and to resolve issues, developing communication channels and processes to keep the customers informed and engaged. Creating a positive experience that foster satisfaction and loyalty, gathering and analyzing customer feedback to improve products and services and interactions. Customer relationships, this is your job. Building trust and credibility through consistent positive experiences, fostering loyalty and advocacy through personalized interactions and valued experiences, creating a sense of connection and community with our customers. So leave this slide up a little bit, jot this down. This is something that we need to take with us as well. All right, so here are some role play ideas that you guys can go through. Very simple, took me 29 seconds to read this, right? Even with customer interaction with you. So this is you talking. Of course, this may generate a conversation, then you go with the customer. And so, so this is some great stuff for you guys to do. Do not forget to smile. Do not forget to shake hands. It's very, very important. This is for initial contact with the customer for the first time. This next one is for follow-ups and service calls. So I'll leave this up. You guys can pause it and kind of go through it. And just go through it. So the random acts of kindness is the last statement. Also, I did notice whatever. Find something to notice. Find something extra to do. So I took care of that for you as well. All right, I'm going to go back a couple of slides real quick, and then I'll be done. So in the beginning, I said I was going to define the differences in a couple of things. First of all, let me talk about servant leadership. Servant leadership is us as managers leading by example, catering to your needs, and making sure you have what you need to be successful. I mean, just doing whatever we can in our power to make sure that you are successful at your job. Little things, big things, medium things, whatever it takes as a service manager, that's our job to make sure that you guys are taken care of. The difference in sympathy and empathy. So, empathy is what we're looking for, right? Empathy is us putting ourselves in our customer's shoes, understanding what they're going through, really, really feeling it. And what I mean by put ourselves in their position, think about it. You guys are consumers too, right? You guys do business with other companies, AT&T, DirecTV, Spectrum, whoever you do business with, grocery store, drive-through, whatever. Put yourselves in a customer's position. That way you're able to understand and help work through the problem to resolve it. Now, sympathy, it's okay. I mean, you can feel sorry for people. You can cry for somebody because you sympathize with them, but you're not helping them work through their problem. You just feel sorry for them. So we're looking for empathy. Customer-centric approach and culture. Customer centricity basically is taking care of the customer, doing whatever we have to do to take care of the customer. That's it. That's all that means. And then, of course, we just talked about customer relationship. PPT, people, processes, technology. You are the people. I don't know about the service managers, and I hope to get more involved in understanding the hiring process there. Again, we got great technicians. We typically hire really great technicians. Sometimes we miss the mark. The same thing with customer service and inside sales. We miss the mark sometimes too. So the people that we hire, we're hoping are already A players. If they're not A players, our whole training is centered around them becoming A players. Our servant leadership throughout their employment here is to get them to A player status. So the remedial trainings that we do, the one-on-ones that we do, the admonishments that we do, is all centered around getting those guys to become A players. So that's the people. The processes, this is one of those processes. This training is going to be part of our process to get people on board with this particular kind of interaction with our customers. And then our technology, right? What we got? We got Pest Routes, we've got applause, we got podium, we've got hatch, we've got all these different platforms that we use as our technology to make us successful. And then customer lifetime value. Essentially, it costs money to acquire an account, right? So what we want to make sure that we're doing is that if we can create that loyalty, the money that we spend in acquiring customers, making them loyal customers, extending that relationship with us for years and years to come, this means nothing. We don't care. We'll pay whatever we have to pay to get a customer if we can keep them. We always look at the contract value in Pest Routes, right? An $800 contract value. Well, what if they cancel in 6 months because we didn't create that loyalty? So that's really, again, at the very beginning of this, I told you guys, at the center of everything that we do, everything that we talk about, every policy, every procedure, every rule, every write-up, every whatever centers on customer loyalty. We gotta have it, we have to produce it, and we have to make this work. So, all right, that's it for this week, guys. We'll see about additional trainings. This has been an 8-hour deal that I had condensed down to about 30, 35 minutes. There's a lot more to talk about later, and so we'll see you next time.